Hey there, gang. Patrick King here. We've got a question today that comes in from Lisa, and Lisa asks, what do you do with a horse that requires ACE and 2 doses of sedatives just to have front shoes put on? All right, now before I answer this question with kind of what I'm going to call my real answer, I'm going to put in a little caveat. I have been a part of some rescues, or been part of helping some rescue situations, some rescue horses that for major medical reasons absolutely had to have some sort of special farrier work done, either shoes, trims, things like that. Horses in that situation, to me, is a whole different story. When it's a medical emergency like that, a serious emergency, to me, all bets are off, and you can use the idea of sedatives, chemical restraints, drugging them, whatever you want to call it. Those, to me, those situations, I would say that's acceptable. Now, to get back to Lisa's question, what do you do with a horse that requires ACE and 2 doses of sedatives just to have front shoes put on? To me, the tone of the question makes it sound like it's not just a one-time deal that this has happened, okay? So, basically, my answer to this is if the farrier is having to resort, and the vet's going to be there potentially, to resort to drugging our horse so that we can put shoes on our horse, something's missing in the training. Something's missing in that horse's education. And there's lots of videos out there about working with horses' feet. I know on my YouTube channel, even if I'm going to direct Lisa to my videos, I know I've got a couple on there, and I know there's lots of other folks out there that have videos and that can offer help on helping a horse with picking up their feet, with having shoes put on, that sort of thing. My biggest thing is, it's not your farrier's job to train your damn horse. It's not your vet's job to train your horse. It's your job, or it's your trainer's job to train your horse. Now, you hear some flack that some farriers get about wanting horses to be sedated to have their feet done, and you know what? I don't think they're entirely wrong. If your horse doesn't have the proper education about having his feet handled and about having his feet done, and he's kind of a jerk underneath the farrier, jerk because he doesn't understand, right? Jerk because he doesn't have the balance. You can call him whatever you want to call him. In that situation, if you're the farrier, getting your back tore up, getting your face potentially kicked in, getting your arms ripped off, then, you're going to want something to help that horse also, okay? So I'm not going to say necessarily that it's the farrier's fault in that situation. Although I've known some that were not so handy and didn't have the patience and didn't present themselves to the horse in the right way. So that would rest on the side of the farrier also there. So we've got to think about this equation. If it's the farrier being the jerk in this situation that's causing the horse to be upset, that could be a whole different story. Let's go with the assumption that the farrier is doing a proper job. And look, if you're an aware horse owner, you're going to be able to tell if the farrier is doing the proper job as far as their presentation to the horse. So let's take that out of the equation. Now we've got to get our horse educated. And again, it's not your farrier's job and it's not your vet's job to teach your horse to be educated, to understand, to balance, to stand there quietly, respectfully, while we're having shoes put on, okay, or trims, or whatever else. It doesn't matter what it is. So for Lisa and for anybody else who has this problem where we think that our horse requires ACE, our horse requires sedatives to have front shoes put on, no, you're not doing your homework in that situation. And that might be a tough pill to swallow. I help farriers all over the country. I have for years. I've been called in to help farriers who have problems with horses that the owners aren't doing necessarily the homework to help those horses understand how to be shod or how to be trimmed quietly, respectfully, confidently. That's a big thing. So my big answer is going to be invest the time. Hire the trainer. Watch the videos. Take the time, practice to get your horse ready. I can't tell you how many times I see people that they don't even pick their horse's feet out until it's time for the farrier to get there. That's a little bit late. If you're not doing this on a regular basis, think about it with yourself. If I asked you to stand up on one foot and you had bad balance and you weren't confident with it, well, how long do you think you could stand there? Long enough to have me custom make a pair of shoes for your foot? Probably not. So think of the horse standing for the farrier as more of a skill, something that he can develop. The patience, the coordination, the balance, the confidence that he can stand there for the length of time required for that to happen, right? How many times, if we're picking up our horse's feet, you pick it up, you pick it out, and you drop it down there. It's a 10-second operation, right? It's something that we want to really think about. Develop that skill with our horse. That's pretty important. Because it's a pretty important skill. Whether your horse is currently barefoot or currently wearing shoes, heaven forbid there comes a time in his life where maybe he needs, for medical reasons, a shoe to be put on. I'd want him to be pretty confident with the idea of standing there for, up to several minutes with his foot up off the ground so that, he'd be prepared for that, just in case. I don't know. I could rant about this for a while. Maybe one of these days we'll do a video with a horse to show a little bit more about that. But there are, of course, on our YouTube channel, some videos about doing just that. I usually teach a horse to lead by the legs with a rope around the leg. It's a progressive idea, but that to me is one of the most successful exercises that I've used to help farriers all over the country and horse owners and horses, more importantly. All over the country for standing and being confident and patient with that idea. So hopefully that's helpful. Again, it's so important we take the time. We have to take the time to get that horse balanced and confident. The confidence is key there. All right. So anyway, for Lisa, I hope that's helpful to you. And for anybody else out there listening, I hope that's helpful to you. If you have a friend that might need to hear this information, please feel free, tag them in the comment section below here or share this video directly with them. And don't forget, feel free, send in questions as you have them. You can send them in the comment section of these videos. You can send them to us through a direct message, through Messenger, through email, things like that. Feel free, send those questions in. You guys keep asking questions, and I'll keep talking about horses. Thanks, gang.